I think if
Owen must be a hot man there.
Big Burger!
In the center of northeast Wisconsin sits the small town of Seymour. With a population floating just below 3,500, it boasts a history and reputation that far exceeds its unassuming size. Since 1989, many thousands have traveled to Seymour for Burger Fest. It is held every year in early August, celebrating the town as the birthplace of the hamburger. For a price of only $5 at the gate or $3 if you pay in advance, you can get the sights, smells, and tastes of the giant hamburger,
Big Burger!
or fly down the ketchup slide. Burgers and fries aren't all that existed here in the late 19th century, however. A half-mile north of the grassy park that holds this lighthearted celebration of the town's history sits Hotel Seymour Supper Club, built in 1889, 4 short years after the invention of the hamburger. It was originally named Hotel Falk for the man, George Falk, who built it. And for only $1 a day, you could stay in one of the 28 rooms with several shared communal bathrooms. Below the rooms in the basement, Hotel Falk boasted a barbershop and showers for travelers on the railway from the Bay of Green Bay. George Falk's hotel had first-class service that was prompt and attentive. The commercial success of Hotel Falk catapulted George into a successful and comfortable life, not only as the hotel's owner, but serving 4 terms as the mayor of Seymour, as well as being the alderman, postmaster, and fire chief. His death, however, in 1933, would see the hotel passed along to the next generation of Falks. And ultimately, after his son, Grover Falk's death in 1951, the hotel would pass out of the family, losing the surname, being rebranded as Hotel Seymour. The second story would suffer a damaging fire only a few years after the hotel changed ownership, and later on the hotel would fall from success as it shuttered and closed out its century of history. Today, and since 2004, it has been operating continuously as a supper club, but still in the upper level there are 2 newly renovated hotel rooms, 4 apartment units, a lobby, and some rooms that are still unfinished. The wide and deep history of this building is what caught our attention. Stories and rumors of this hotel, once the gem of the city, are hidden within solid brick walls. So back again to discover some truth in the clouds of mystery is Broggle Goes to Hell.
Let's get some more.
Tell them to bring out the whole market. Tell them to bring out the whole market. I'm an asparagus. Okay.
There was an unexpectedly eerie vibe to Hotel Seymour, and whether that was from, maybe a paranormal activity or the Rust Belt, Rust Belting kind of thing, there was a weird energy going on for sure.
The Hotel Seymour that our team investigated in the summer of 2023 was a large 50-foot by 100-foot Queen Anne-style building. The front door enters into a large bar area that wraps around to meet the exterior wall. Further back is additional bar seating. The large footprint of the building helping to accommodate crowds of people. Going to the left as you're walking into the supper club is the dining area. After passing the hostess stand, you see the seated dining area is just as large as the bar and is connected to the outside via the rear entrance. The basement below no longer showcases the wide array of amenities it once did, and it is now just a storage area, acting almost as a museum preserving artifacts from the late 19th century of Wisconsin. The second story of the Hotel Seymour Supper Club, as mentioned, still operates partially with both hotel rooms and apartment units.
$28 to go. How does that work?
We heard about Hotel Seymour through the accounts and stories of the bartenders, line cooks, and waitstaff who have reported paranormal phenomena during their time at the supper club. Many have reported the feeling of being watched. The bartenders claim to have talked, back turned, to a patron, only for them to turn around and see no one there. and many of the workers also describe hearing the voice of a woman singing far off in the building. But the most compelling testimony we heard was an event that occurred twice and was witnessed by 5 individual people. After bar closed at 9 p.m., 2 workers walking between the kitchen and the dining area saw an FBA, full-bodied apparition, also known simply as a ghost. After walking a few steps, they realized what they saw and stopped dead in their tracks. Both looked at each other, confirming what they saw. One of the workers, Jeffrey, was with us on our investigation to tell us the story as well as lead us to the supper club and hotel. The entity they saw was a middle-aged man, tall with salt and pepper gray hair, wearing a gray trench coat, standing at the end of the bar right in front of the large menu on the wall. When they went back to see again, the being had vanished. It wouldn't be too much later until the same entity was seen again. As another group of staff were walking again between the kitchen and the dining area, they saw the being out of the corner of their eye. Jeffrey, who had seen the man before, was also there but was still in the kitchen. After the group saw the entity, they went back to the kitchen and told him what they saw. Jeffrey told them that he saw the being as well, confirming with them a general description. Trench coat, tall, gray hair, middle-aged, and out of place.
This way, and he was about this tall, and Jake just goes, yeah.
Jeffrey even told another worker who was present, Missy, to go back around the corner. And when she went out to look around the corner, she came back and was pale with fright, as she saw the man standing right there in the corner of the bar, motionless and grim.
Look in the other room, and I was pointing out here to the left of the staircase if you guys come up
Yeah.
into the dining hall, and Missy went out, looked, came back, and she was just pale.
After touring much of the building, we decided to take a break to investigate the location that the FBA was reported to have stood, right in front of the large menu.
We rolling.
We used 2 devices to probe for response, to determine both the veracity of these reports and potentially determine the specific circumstances around this entity. We have a few theories about it, which we'll get into later, but for now, our investigation in the bar. The first of the 2 tools we used was the mag light, which is a twisting switch flashlight, positioned between the on and off position. In this position, it can become a touch lamp, turning on and off when it is bumped or jolted. You can then ask spirits or other paranormal forces to manipulate the device to ask simple yes or no questions. However, there is a high false positive rate, as there is a distinct chance that the light will randomly turn off and on, so in order for the mag light response to be compelling, the activity on the flashlight must be timely and repetitive. The other device we used is more concrete and has a near zero false positive. The REM pod is a small cylinder that creates a magnetic field around it. When something breaches that field, the device will light up and beep, with a color scale to communicate the level of intrusion. When something gets closer to the antenna, more lights will show up and the volume of the beeping will intensify. So, when the device goes off and there is no physical intrusion that can be seen by us, it is considerably compelling evidence. The REM pod also has a temperature sensor that will tell us when there are significant spikes in temperature, said to be a sign of paranormal
Turn on the light
forces.
if you just came here to get a few drinks and food.
In our investigation of the FBA location,
Turn off the light
we
if
used
you
both
ever been
tools
in the
together.
basement, 'cause you just-
We asked the entity to turn the light on and off in order to answer simple yes or no questions, and used the REM pod as another form of input to see if we could detect a change in temperature or a presence within the electromagnetic field. Here's what we caught in our short investigation.
Okay, ready? Ready? Okay. You got it? Okay. And this, you got this one too. Okay. Alright. If there's someone over here, turn the light on.
Some spirit, some person, some anything. Turn on the light.
There's a tall, handsome man in that corner. Turn on the light.
It just got hot. Is it just me or did it get hot?
There must be a hot,
It did get warm.
must be a hot man there.
It's pretty hot.
They're both going.
If you were a former patron or have ever visited here, could you please turn on the light?
If you are the sailor that died in the basement here, turn on the light. The light is going. Oop. Oop. Sailor confirmed.
If you died inside the hotel, turn on the light. Oh wow.
So like more history on this, like
If
sailor.
you are wearing a trench coat right now, turn on the light. If you have salt and pepper gray hair, turn off the light. That's not gonna move. Okay.
If you're a frequent visitor of this hotel and restaurant, turn on the light.
Or were at one point. Not a visitor. Maybe they came only like one time. Have you made yourself known to people that have been here, worked here or not, ever before? Or is this the first time?
If yes, turn on the light.
That's pretty strong light. That's just not.
If you often talk to the visitors, to people in this bar, turn on the light.
Turn off the light if the workers here heard you singing before. You're not much of a singer.
Maybe that wasn't him.
Turn on the light if you've ever been walking around this bar, around here or around back behind us. Turn on the light if you've been walking around here.
Here's what we can say after these few minutes of tape from our investigation. If we take the activity on the light as legitimate answers to our questions, then we were communicating with the entity that showed himself to the staff at Hotel Seymour. It answered in the affirmative that it was a tall man with salt and pepper gray hair, wearing a trench coat that had been walking around the end of the bar that Jeffrey and the 4 other workers had seen, and made itself known to the Hotel Seymour staff in the past. These responses check every box as to match the physical description that we were given and corroborates the testimony of the horrifying story that was told about the encounter made with the entity and the workers at Hotel Seymour. Now that, assuming this all to be true, we know we were communicating with this entity, how can we unmask its true identity? We believe that we can prove who it is, and we will let you be the judges of that theory. The entity is none other than the ghost of George Falk, the original owner of, and the man who built Hotel Seymour. Of course, it was named Hotel Falk, and it kept that name even after his death in 1933, as it was passed down to his son Grover. Grover Falk was only able to keep his father's legacy alive for 18 years. Grover's death and a devastating fire shortly after saw Hotel Falk shed the name of the man himself who created it, being turned into Hotel Seymour. Is George Falk angry, lingering in the shadows of his once famous hotel, casting dread upon the interlopers who now claim ownership over what he sees as rightfully his? We think yes. George does not only match the description of the FBA given to us by Jeffrey, confirmed by 4 others, and our Maglite session. He has a reasonable motive. Furthermore, George Falk, during his own lifetime, was not the benevolent man that people on the outside saw in their mayor and fire chief. He was a longtime member of the Oddfellows Secret Society and served as the secretary for the local chapter lodge for 26 years. The society has its roots in 1730s Britain and boasts names such as Ulysses S. Grant, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and Charlie Chaplin. Much of the traditions and rituals of the Oddfellows has been shrouded in mystery, until very recently. All over the nation, from Nebraska to Pennsylvania, it is being uncovered from renovations and searches of modern-day Oddfellows lodges that human remains were kept and stored for use in ritualistic practices.
Entered that garage area, he observed a box which he looked at and saw the human remains, became concerned, took the box, went home, called the police.
As the police investigation unfolded, detectives learned more than a century ago, Ohio prisons would sell unclaimed bodies.
My understanding is that back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, that it was not unusual for unclaimed cadavers to be able to be purchased for various uses.
Chief Vince DeMasi says it appears in this case the remains ended up in the hands of the Independent Order of Oddfellows, and the organization would use the remains in its rituals.
They actually had a lodge here in Mount Healthy,
near Hamilton Avenue and Compton Road.
If George had such a long and close association with this society, now alleged to have been using human remains for ritualistic practices for centuries of its history, it seems more likely that his spirit chose to linger here, tormenting the now living keepers of Hotel Seymour. Or terribly, is trapped in the hotel so that he may atone for the evil that he may have committed in his life.
28 hours to go on this one. How does that look?
In addition to our short Maglite investigation of the bar, we left 2 static cameras in areas of the basement. One was left in the workshop and one in a hallway area. We recorded at these locations to see if while we were away, anything out of the ordinary occurred in the basement. What we caught only serves to prove that this small town supper club is not what it seems. We have uncovered a ghost house here. What we caught in the hallway was nothing that specifically caught our attention, but from the footage in the workshop, we found some very interesting things. First, we can hear what sounds like a metal item being bumped, and then knocked over from a shelf. At the end of this clip, we also hear a faint whisper saying, "Come back." The knocked over object and the faint comeback is particularly interesting as we left this room for less than a minute. Later on, we then heard the sound of someone humming from a distance in this room. And finally, we heard 2 distinct knocks. In the historic Hotel Seymour, we uncovered what seems to be a legitimately haunted hotel. The centuries of history only serve to bolster that claim. The recent activity witnessed by Jeffrey and others being possibly the first time that this being had ever made itself known to anyone. We were only able to spend 2 hours in the hotel. What we uncovered was horrifying by itself. But realistically, we cannot prove the paranormal to you, so you must make that decision for yourself. And if you made it this far, you may already have made up your mind. So if you're not the Broadway family, turn off the light if you know Aloysius.
These guys don't know shit.
Kind of? You kind of know him? Turn off the light?
that what you're saying by like?
We figured it out.
You didn't want to say you knew him.
Yeah, they turned it back on for the yes.
He didn't want to be like too forward and say, yeah, he's my boy.
Maybe they got beef.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
All right. Got beef. Turn on the light if you're beefing with Aloysius. Maybe you caused his death at such a very young age. Is there foul play? So are you saying you killed Aloysius?
Did you kill Aloysius? Oh my god.
Oh my god. He was 6 months old. Turn on the light if you
shanked him.
Shanked him? Well, that would be an obvious call of murder. Maybe you smothered him in the crib to keep it a little bit low key. Turn on the light if you murdered him. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. So you are a person in the cemetery. You did have beef with Aloysius and you killed him. If we have all this, if we have all this true, turn off the light. Confirm it.
In 3, 2, 1.
Damn. Okay.
All right.
This is getting pretty good.
Whatever spirit this is, turn the light on if you poisoned Aloysius.
Poison him with anything. It could have. Oh. It could have been like legitimate poison, or maybe just something that you know would have killed him.
You know, food poisoning, perhaps.
Maybe you served him undercooked meat on purpose, which contravenes policies of the Food and Drug Administration.
Which did not exist back then.
Yeah, you're probably right. Good call on.
So, food poisoning it was.
Let's see. Are you feeling talkative? If you're feeling talkative, you want to talk to us. Turn off the light. Because we got a little device here that we can use to talk to you. Also, I could just be using this to see if anything's here. Oh, well, it's just. Oh shit. Oh my god! Wait. Okay, if we didn't get that, that'd be heinous.
Turn the light back on to confirm that you're here with us and wanting to talk.
Oh, did we scare you? Did we scare you with this? If I turn this off, will you touch the light again? Okay, it's off, so we can't really detect you. Turn on the light.
To show us that you're still here.
Holy fuck. Okay, now I'm gonna turn this back on. You better turn this off really quick. Oh, dude, it's actually, it goes up when the light, okay. So is there someone there? Did you just like run away because we caught you? Did we catch a ghost? All right, I'm gonna put it, oh, okay.
Catch it on the backside.
Almost got you. All right. So I feel like
hold on. This light here that he has, it's not gonna hurt you. So if you come back, we can continue talking, but it just further proves to us that you're here. Because I don't believe it yet. I don't think they're with us.
You don't think they're with us?
No.
Seymour man has been ordered to stand trial on an attempted homicide charge. 34-year-old Jeffrey Prosky waived a preliminary hearing on 5 counts that include attempted first-degree intentional homicide. The incident happened on March 6th. According to police, they responded to the 100 block of South Main Street. When they entered, officers found a person who had suffered serious injuries and called them for help. The victim was transported to a hospital, and Prosky was arrested. He returns to court April 17th for an arraignment. Tonight we have